We're doing a restructure.
Happy to see everybody.
I thought we were talking about doing a restructure.
We're just gonna. Oh, we're not.
We are doing a restructure.
We
It's
have to
all
talk
right.
about it because it's gonna change a little bit.
It happens.
It's gonna change for your enjoyment.
There you go. We're making it better for you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Apparently, we've been going on some rants.
Yeah, I have been. Yeah, he has been. He over there has been. Some people have been going to sleep.
Hey, when these conversations get, lengthy like that, I just
What do you know?
I step out.
What do you know?
But I guess I gotta pull myself back in and just be the referee on all this stuff. But anyways, we're gonna take it back.
Boundaries and rules.
We need people here and present.
Anyways, we're gonna go back to introductions, bring everybody back in, and introduce ourselves again.
Yeah.
Just in case you guys have forgotten what we do and who we are. I believe we're gonna start off from my left
Very likely, yeah.
to right.
Yeah.
And before we start there, Alex, tell the audience what we're talking about, what we're doing here.
So this is
of why we're doing this.
So this podcast is pretty much to bring the blue collar community back, or not back, but we're gonna talk about the struggles, the challenges that we go through, so people can hear what blue collar goes through, not just mediocre podcasts that talk about everyday life on their behind the desk topics, but the guys that really go out there and do the work. That make sure everybody's water's running and toilets are getting flushed and everybody's getting their internet, high-speed internet, and their elevators are going up and down, getting you to the floor that you need to get to. And then, whenever we get a new blue collar in, we're gonna, run them through our basic, questions on, the craziest things that they've gone through, or the craziest things that we go through when we're dealing with that trade. We're not electricians. I do a little bit of electricity in the elevator trade, but electricians, they have their own little things that they go through and the things that we have to deal with them. And painters, guys that run wellness shops, or the people who run, mechanics and, dealerships and service areas, that kind of stuff. So we're just giving you a behind the scenes look on what's going on.
The lay of the land, huh?
Yeah.
Everyday life of
A blue collar worker.
Yes.
So.
Hey, Alex, I do want to bring out you're kind of doing this. And
I know. I'm trying to stay in.
So yeah, just stay
keep
in
my
this.
audio close.
Yeah. So yeah.
Hey, we will work on our audio. I feel like that's one of a large, maybe not a complaint, but it was talked about in previous podcasts that, we have intermittent audio. So
yeah, we're working on it. Trust
Look
us.
forward to solid audio.
We either got to get new boom sticks or whatever these are called. Yeah, I don't do this for a living.
Yeah, no one's paying us yet.
We're doing this out of,
The goodness of our hearts.
yeah, putting the information out there. I
This
guess.
would be dumb. Honestly.
So, introductions?
Let's kick it off, huh? Ultimately, I'm Vince. I've been in telecom for roughly 20
Been
years.
recording.
I hope so.
Oh,
Well, yes. So 100%, everything you said, 100. We out here. 91, baby. 101. Gas up. Obviously, we're trying to optimize, just who we are in the podcast to make it better for the listeners and the viewers, you guys. We understand that we may not be putting our best foot forward at some cases, so we are definitely trying ultimately on
Listen,
everything.
We're flying by the seat of our pants. We show up here the day we record. We really, there's no
script.
agenda. There's no script.
Nothing.
We just talk about what we fucking have gone through
Literally
the last couple of days or weeks. Our daily interactions with people, with clients, with coworkers, all that stuff. So we're just on the fly. We realize we need to put put some boundaries, some rules, and kind of stick to one subject and have that be the topic for the conversation.
Exactly.
So we're reintroducing the podcast.
Really lock in.
We're going to start over again and refresh this and go forward. We've learned a lot along the way. We have some feedback, so we're just going to make it a little bit better. And we feel we want to make it better, but we're going to keep on listening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
that's number one.
So, yeah, I mean, again, Alex, you want to keep on going?
Yeah.
What's this podcast about?
This podcast right here. This is we're all family. Cousin, uncle. Yeah, so
What makes you then?
I'm a cousin.
Yeah.
I guess your nephew. cousin.
He's like, I
uncle.
don't know, somebody.
The guy in the middle.
Exactly.
So this Blue Collar Family podcast is pretty much everyday blue collar life. We're here to give you guys our struggles, or what we struggle with, what we our little tips and tricks. Pretty much everyday life. The trades that we deal with, businesses. Plumbing. The guys that get your water going, your shitters to flush, your internet to go, your elevators to go up and down. All give you the behind the scenes look on what we go through to handle all these issues that come on everyday life for some people. But yeah, we deal with a lot of trades, electricians, painters, and
I mean,
contractors.
If we actually take a step back and look at the whole family overall, I think we have someone in every single trade out there, right?
Very
Yeah.
close.
Right.
100%.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, stuff we can relate to, education, right?
Well,
Oh yeah.
Curiosity about other people's trades, what they go through, to see if they go through similar things that we go through. Learning. I like to know how shit works.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys do too. So that's why we're bringing this up. I mean, it's for fun for us. I mean, we like to do this. We like to bullshit and stuff like that. So
the last 18 episodes, we love to bullshit.
Yeah. So
but it's real bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
that's the real reason why we are gonna do this specific podcast. Is just to hone it back and go back to what we really wanted to do this podcast for.
Right.
Not just to go on weird rants where it just gets lost and I fall asleep and these guys are just duking it out. But yeah, so we're gonna just bring it back. We're gonna give an introduction on where we came from, how we
Keep it
got
tight.
there, and reintroduce ourselves and go from there. I know we have some topics that we want to talk about, and I think that's what we're gonna start doing, is keep staying on the topic that we have. So
Topic-based discussions.
yeah, so we can start from left to right.
Yeah, definitely. It feels funny doing it again. But
That's on me. I didn't press that button. I'm gonna see if I can grab that.
oh yeah, made the video. But ultimately, I'm Vince. I've spent majority of my career in the telecom field. Currently, I'm sitting at a field engineer for a conglomerate, I guess, major telecom company. And, like anything else, it takes work to be the best at your job. I think I'm going to leave it with that.
Well, it takes time. I think it more like I've noticed throughout the years that I've been in the elevator trade. A lot of people say, "Oh, I wish I could be as smart as you." I'm like, no, I just been in it this long. I've gone through all the mistakes.
We'll introduce your setup and then follow into
I
that.
was just going off of what you said. Anyways, I'm Alex. I'm in the elevator trade.
I think what he was trying to say is you took his time.
No.
Okay, take my time. I was just trying to go off of what you said.
Yeah.
Well,
Trying to,
I believe it.
you need to be smart, but it also takes a lot more time to figure out all the mistakes.
Understand.
You have to learn from your mistakes. Obviously, you've made a lot of mistakes.
Of course. I've seen people make
Everybody's
mistakes.
Yeah, you
Mistakes
learn
were made
off of
around
other
you.
people's mistakes too, right?
Right.
So, anyways, I'm Alex. elevator trade in this area, California. I've been in this, going to be 10 years this year in September, and I love it. I like it. I love every day.
10 years.
10 years,
Yeah,
September.
and it seems like it was just like,
It was just yesterday.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. Literally today we built a motor that I did. Well, I built a motor that I was a part of, and I remember building the first motor with my adjuster like 7 years ago, and it brought me back. I was like, damn, I've been in this trade for a minute. Feels like it, but yeah, I've been doing this for about to be 10 years, and I love it. There was a lot of mistakes in there, but I learn from my mistakes. I only do it once, and I repeat it to everybody that I see so they don't do the same mistake, which is lacking in, I would say, in my trade. There's a lot of guys that repeat mistakes, but it happens. We all got to learn one way, right?
That's the union, brother.
We all got to learn one way. I try to help my brothers.
Vince, did you say how long you've been in this
In
telecoms game?
So I've been in telecom. I don't know. Maybe the first time. That's probably what I'm thinking. But yeah, initially I've been in telecom for about, I don't know, maybe 16 years. I don't know. How old am I versus when I started, I guess. I started telecom in my mid-20s. So I think I was around 23, 24 maybe. Could have been 22, but honestly, who knows?
Yeah.
And
A lot of smoking back then, huh?
smoking, no. It was a lot of fucking, a lot of drinking. A lot of drinking. You know what? Honestly, what are you going to do when you're 20, right? And not even 20. What are you doing in your 20s?
Yeah.
Hanging out. You got a job, you go to work, you have a good time, and then next thing you know, you're 30.
Yeah.
It comes by quick, huh?
Exactly. Serge.
Who? Me. Sergio, Uncle Serge, Uncle Rico, whatever you want to call me. Dick, asshole. It's all true. But plumbing trade, mainly residential service. Can't tell you I do commercial or that I worked in the union now. Realistically, I fell into this trade by mistake, and I fell in love with it. I have a tech background, degree in tech, and I kind of feel like I wasted all my time in tech when, I'm about 5 years into the trade.
This could be your calling.
But no, it is. It is. And that's why I kind of like don't miss my old career. Being in a vehicle most of the day and going from location to location is completely different from sitting behind a desk or being inside a data center or something.
Yeah.
Where you're 2 hours into the shift and you're like, what time is lunch or what time do I get off? I can tell you that 8 hours is like nothing to me. A regular day. I don't put in 8 hours and they fly by. So we've talked about this before, but we'll bring it up again because we're reintroducing it. But again, right, I think you have to love what you do in order to do it, right? You can say that blue collar can be difficult at sometimes. It can be brutal. It can be tiring. But if you love doing it, it's not a job. So yeah, I think, like you said, it's a calling. I found it, and I love what I do. I love helping people. And honestly, it's been the most money I ever made.
You know what? That's halfway what it's about, right? Money versus satisfaction.
Right. But yeah, I mean, looking back into it, I didn't get into it because of money, because I actually took a big ass pay cut to come to it. I started from the bottom, and I still don't know everything. Every day is a learning process. But yeah, I mean, I find guys that have been in the trade for a long time, and they still don't know how shit works. They just know that they have to do it.
But they don't know why they're doing
why
it.
they're doing it.
Yeah.
And that to me is very important, right?
Yeah, that kills me.
When I sit in front of the client and I have to educate them and tell them why the three other guys never told them what I told them, that makes me their plumber going forward, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's me. That's my intro a little bit, but we
I like it.
we will dive deeper into everybody's background,
Yeah.
right? Or are we doing it on this one?
No. I think, you hit the nail on the head. We're going with what we are, who we are, and whatever's on the magic board.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got, we're trying to stay primarily on topic here.
Yeah.
The topic is pretty much introduction.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We're
today's
gonna be
introduction.
we're not gonna be serious. We're gonna make fun of people and make fun of it, but at the same time, kind of try to educate you guys or let us on each of our trades, right?
Yeah.
And if you want to come into the podcast and kind of
Share
give
your light.
share your everyday life, and it doesn't have to be blue collar. We've said
No,
that if you're
yeah.
a barber,
Business.
if you're in business, if you're in anything, just listening to something that you do every day that has to do with your career, your job. I think that's pretty interesting.
Definitely.
We've had some interesting characters in the past that have nothing to do with blue collar, and they're pretty pretty interesting.
Yeah, informative, honestly.
Yeah, I've learned a lot of stuff from these guys that have come on. So yeah. But let's see. What's your day like?
Yeah. Let's run into it.
In the telecom world. What's your
Ultimately, right now, in the position I am, my day is, I'm not going to say it's super easy.
Yes, it is.
It's fucking easy. It is. You know what I mean? But it doesn't go without all the years I've spent. Not easy at all. You know what I mean? Obviously, I was able to gain the knowledge, acquire the surround myself with people that were, about better work, which propelled me and everybody else in that kind of same category to get higher paying jobs, to get more knowledge, to understand what you're actually doing, not only for yourself, but for your client or for your customer, whoever it may be.
Right.
Because obviously, when you're doing service work or, in a sense, work for somebody else, they have questions.
Yeah.
They want to know why, who, what, when. They, like anybody else that's curious, or you're paying somebody to do something, you have a lot of questions. You want to make sure it's done right. You want to make sure it's, is this the latest and greatest? If it's not the latest and greatest, where do I sit, or where do I stand in my network, or my my server, whatever it might be.
Right.
You know what I mean? So in the beginning of this position, it was a slight learning curve, mainly for paperwork wise. Honestly, whenever anybody gets into a position that you have experience in previously, every single company does things differently.
Right.
So you do have that slow understanding of what's being processed, or what daily reports need to happen, or what they need from you. The ultimate job, what you complete every day, is going to be very similar, if you're in any kind of the same field in a sense, right? Basics, lefty loosey, righty tighty, never changes.
Right.
So for me, like I said, it's pretty easy right now.
Right.
But ultimately, my day starts out like this.
But I think you get paid. You're in a position now that you get paid for what you know.
Yeah, 100%.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're there because of the knowledge. You've been around the block. Right.
What I can provide for the company,
Right.
My relations with the conglomerate to the consulting company.
Correct.
You know what I mean? The relations I have with these people, the understanding that I have, just the helpful nature that I can bring,
Right.
is what I'm getting paid for, really. You know what I mean? Ultimately.
So prior to this, I think you worked in the union, right?
Yeah, definitely.
You were in a
I was shout out local 378 iron worker. I was there for give or take 4 years, I think.
right after high school, we say.
Yeah, right after high school. Yeah, it was honestly super fun.
Yeah. So, what drove you to go to telecom, or what was your introduction? To
Yeah,
telecom?
the collapse of fucking construction in 2008 is what
Right.
pushed me to a different field.
Collapse. That's when I started my blue collar life.
Yeah. Well, must be nice. But yeah, ultimately what happened was that I'd still be an iron worker today if there wasn't the 2008 work collapse. I think most of our union I don't know, we had a lot of members. They don't quote me on this, but it was probably around like 80,000 or something members. It was a pretty large union, strong. It collapsed. I think it ended up being like 10 or 20,000 left. Everybody else was out of work for a few years. And, you either waited it out or you found something else to do. Ultimately, I waited a year, couldn't find anything, and as soon as my unemployment was dry, I had to live, you know what I mean? I had a place I had rent to pay, you had food to eat, people to, depend on you. So, I went off and talked to one of my buddies who was technically he was in the telecom field. He was actually in the electronic field. He was repairing like medical equipment.
Okay.
And he was like, hey, you know what? I have this buddy doing telecom. Right now, they're paying piecework. If anybody knows about piecework, that was the spot.
You're like 20.
Dude.
You got nothing else to do besides fucking work,
Well-
and you're getting paid by the job.
Well, no, not even the job. You're getting paid by the part.
Right, but every single line you ran, you were getting paid for.
Anything I touched, you get paid for.
Okay.
I'm telling you, it was insane back in the day.
Right.
Now, I honestly, I think majority of the companies now, they outlawed piecework or they changed the structure because what happens is that it rewards people doing a lot, but people that are just basic employees, they don't make minimum wage. It's hard for them to get money.
And those are the ones that complain,
Yeah.
right?
I mean,
And so they have to change the rules for the lazy guys.
yeah. I'm not going to say, because I know a few guys that, tried their best, but they just couldn't make any money, which was foreign to me because I was like, well, you can do this, X, Y, and Z,
Well, you got to apply yourself sometimes, right?
You got to be able to talk to the customer.
Yeah.
You got to be comfortable enough about what you're doing and have the knowledge in how you're going to do it to tell somebody else of what's going to happen.
Right.
If you can't, if you can't be a commanding presence with the knowledge you have, that's like half the battle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Ultimately, anyways, so going from that, jumped in telecom that way. One of my buddies in the, electrical.
So you're doing piecework.
Yes,
What were you
startup
doing?
piecework.
What were you?
Honestly, it was I worked for Comcast.
Okay.
So I was doing piecework for Comcast. I was at
were you working for a contractor?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was at a contractor company. Spent quite a few years there. I think I was almost there for close to. I think it was 9 years.
Yeah.
Went all over the country. Washington, Oregon. We went to something in the Midwest. Whatever state was over there. Idaho? No, I don't know.
Idaho?
Yeah, who's a hoe?
So I think Comcast's footprint here in California started in around 2005.
Technically, Comcast has been here for a long time. It really depends on what you see the area. So, like in the Bay Area, you have a split between Verizon or Frontier, Comcast, and then.
But Comcast didn't have a footprint here in the Bay Area. They bought out AT&T, I believe.
No, AT&T's always been since it's Comcast. Comcast is a direct line.
But AT&T was the phone part, but they had cable before.
AT&T never had cable. AT&T's cable is new. So AT&T as like a cable provider probably popped out in 2011 maybe. AT&T Uverse, that's what that is.
Right.
AT&T Uverse.
No,
that's
after.
pretty old.
So that's after they came back. So I used to work for them. That's why.
Well,
I know.
there's Pac Bell.
So yeah, and it was AT&T, Pac Bell, all that. They were all the same. So they Comcast came in and bought them out,
Well, Comcast didn't buy AT&T it out because AT&T lines are still very much prevalent everywhere.
The coax?
So, yeah. So not even the coax, just hardline.
Right.
So AT&T as themselves were never bought out from anything. What ended up changing was, like I said, Pac Bell,
They got
AT&T.
out of the home entertainment business for that during that time.
A home entertainment like
TV. Cable.
well, AT&T never had cable. I'm telling you right now.
And then they came in with the Uverse after.
No, it was only Ubers.
Are we getting out of
yeah,
topic
we
here?
are. We're doing it.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
we went down.
what? Actually,
I was starting to do this.
You know what we need?
This reminded me that I needed to jump.
We need a fact check on that.
Yeah.
I'm almost positive AT&T never entered the cable market until like 2011 when they made Uverse.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have the infrastructure.
That was satellite. But
So if you got satellite through AT&T, you got DirecTV.
right.
So DirecTV
That
was
was
a
after.
counterpart.
Yeah. So I was
Yeah.
there, I believe 2002 through 2006 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when Comcast came in and bought them out.
Well, they couldn't buy them out because you can't. So in the grand scheme of things, every city, town, whatever has to have multiple providers.
Right.
So one provider cannot buy out another provider because there needs to be duality between pricing. So you'll always have two providers in a location. Mm-hmm. If you don't have it, technically, by law, if you have an apartment building and all you supply is Comcast, and one of your tenants wanted AT&T, technically, by law, you'll have to let AT&T
Get in.
plug that tenant because that's what they want.
Right. But I think AT&T was a different type of service, right?
Well, AT&T was just phone.
Right.
So AT&T, for the longest time, Pac Bell only gave you phone service, DSL service, dial-up service, the only things through a copper-based phone line.
Right.
That was it.
Coax.
They didn't. Yeah, they not coax.
No?
Copper-based phone line.
Okay.
So Cat 5, Cat 6, Cat 3. We're talking about very small. Coax lines were only Charter, Comcast, Verizon, or Frontier.
And like Charter was down south, like in Gilroy area.
Technically, no. Down south in Gilroy area is Frontier. Charter was in the Central Valley. So Central Valley over, it would be like Charter area. But it's cable coax.
Interesting. What else happened after that?
Yeah, anyway, so yeah, it locked in, went into the telecom, realm, did a bunch of piecework, made decent money for being, in the low 20s, especially in that time frame. I think minimum wage was around $7.25, I think.
Damn.
And I can't read it from here.
Yeah.
$7.25, and then at that point I was making like $22 an hour.
That's a good bump.
In my
7.
early 20s.
Yeah.
So it was like, buy a house. You know what I mean?
I'm living the American dream.
I did not buy anything.
should've.
What I did was I bought hopes and dreams.
Yeah.
I did a lot of partying, so I don't regret it. But sometimes I look back and I'm like, I could have had a lot of more nice things. But yeah, anyways, filled, did that, did a lot of out of state work. Came back. The company I was working for dissolved. They ended up getting sold and then dissolving my area. At that point of the dissolving, I was a quality control engineer. So, as soon as they were like, hey, that's it for us, yada, yada, they didn't even give us a stipend, or not a stipend. They didn't give us a
Package.
Yeah, they didn't give a package. They're like, we don't have to give you a package. And I was like, you know what? I could probably sue you guys for all this back money. Because the company was obviously not doing everything correct. But whatever. I was like, you know what? Fine. Moved off of that and then got into, in a sense, 5G installs for AT&T. So I started working for a subsidiary company for AT&T. So the company I was working for, I think it was one of the main founders was from like AT&T Direct, branched off, made their own company. And then, started off. It's either that or maybe he knew somebody that started their own company. Don't quote me on that. I'm not exactly sure that play out. But we were doing 5G. So we would climb towers, do fake trees. If you see the fake trees out there.
See one by my house.
Yeah. The antennas are the large, they're about 6 feet, maybe to 8 feet. They're plastic. That's the antenna. And then you have the radio, which what they call a radio, but it's technically a large inbound, outbound, like transition, right? It creates the hertz. So that thing's anywhere between, 3 feet to like 1.5 feet, 2 feet. Swap those out, put in the ones that create the 5G gigahertz, or upgrading the 700 bandwidth, 850 bandwidth. So when I talk about bandwidths, every cell phone, pretty much anything that requires radio waves works off a select noise bandwidth. Now that bandwidth handles 911, handles your personal calls, handles text messaging, handles your 5G network, internet. So each, selected whatever, you want to use will run off a certain bandwidth. So your phone, if you're looking at an iPhone, you have technically 3 antennas. Those 3 antennas correspond to the bandwidths it will be using.
Wow.
Yeah. So what I was doing a bunch of 5G upgrades. From there, I got tired, ultimately. And my buddy called me again.
Tired or bored?
Both. Ultimately, you can only plug in A to B so many times. You know what I mean?
So much plug and play.
Exactly. It just wasn't that appealing anymore. You know what I mean? You do it, you knock it out, you understand.
Yeah.
What multi-mode is, what single mode fiber is. You understand the connecting types. You understand how to swing the fiber, which means just plugging and moving. You understand placing chassis. You understand obviously the antennas and the radios and what corresponds to better frequencies, because you got to test that stuff.
Yeah.
And each wavelength has their own test and their own threshold so that it can be passing. So, you do a lot of that. Also, there's DAS work, DAS. I don't know the acronym at the top of my head, but what it is that if you ever go to a music festival or a sports game, they have their own networks in those corresponding areas to run that many phones, to do, video, anything that's running off of the internet connection or provider connection. They have an at-site DAS site, and that's what literally does all the inbound, outbound. Because if they didn't have it, I'm sure everybody has seen, you go to a place, your phone doesn't work because there's so many people in that location.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
And then, from there, moved over, and now I'd say living the good life, I guess, I go out now and all I do is do a lot of engineering work, field engineering for this company for fiber placement. So I'll go out if something needs to be trenched or rotted or moved, placement-wise, pulled back, put in, whatever, you name it, that's what I do. I mean, it feels like a very long story, but
No.
It's in depth.
Yeah, exactly.
It was good.
To get to where you're at now,
Yeah.
you had to go through all that
Yeah.
prior.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. I mean, we definitely did shortchange a lot of stuff, but yes, that was the steps.
That was shortchanged?
Yeah, that's the steps I took to get to where I'm here. Yeah, currently.
So was it on the job training? Did you have training?
Both. So
Okay.
they did send me out for training, like say Comcast. We did online training, so you had online courses you had to complete. Then you had to keep up with your certifications.
Right.
When I worked for the conglomerate for 5G installs, that was all online training. You did have to keep up with a lot of certifications because not only you have to be a competent climber, you had to be knowledgeable about microwaves because that shit will fucking cook you up. You know what I mean? They don't play around. You got
cook you up.
you have RF. So it's called non-ionizing radio frequency, and I think it's ionizing radio frequency. Don't quote me on this because it's been about 5 years since I was in that field. But there's two different frequencies. One frequency won't, in a sense, cook you internally because that's what higher grade radio frequency will do. It will cook you. The lower grade will not. It's the same thing. I don't know if anybody's heard about, what was it, a couple of years ago? They're like 5G, it's getting into your mind and it's messing you up. Listen here, I'll be the first to tell you the worst thing that can happen to you on standard non-ionizing radio frequency is that you can get a cataracts in your eyes and you have to be within 6 feet. At 6 feet, yeah. From that antenna. So from
6 feet.
From the antenna. The antenna that's
How far is that antenna?
40 fucking feet,
Hang on,
50 feet from you. Yeah,
Are these antennas put on top of high-rise buildings?
of course.
That's where you work.
That's exactly where I work.
Yeah, so if there's one
Because I've been
you
Let me see your eyes.
about this far away from one of those antennas, and I do see the warning signs, but I have to take that path.
yeah, well you can walk in front of it, it's fine. You do not want to do continuous
You
work
don't want to stay there too long.
in front of that
Oh,
antenna.
okay.
So that job that you were at for like 3 months in a row, you're standing outside an antenna.
Yeah, put it this way. You stand in front of that antenna is taking traffic. So it's taking cell phone, text messages, whatever is going on, whatever that antenna is doing, it's going right through you.
Nice.
So,
So
anyways,
I can see it in my head?
yeah, close your eyes and really think. You can probably get a phone call.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Damn.
so yes, obviously, when people are burning down 5G towers, it wasn't affecting you. The dissipation technically
Pretty much have to stand there
is-
for hours and hours
you're not,
for it to affect you.
it's not going to affect you. If you were on the ground, it probably will, I'm not going to say never affect you, but it's a very low possibility that you're going to get affected at all because the traffic isn't geared towards you. You know what I mean?
toward-
It's already, it's moving up and it's moving out. You'd have to be in front of it for a long time. Now, the microwave though, that's a fucking different story. Now, that shit
Like a
that's-
kitchen microwave? Or what microwave?
so microwave rays is pretty much the same thing that does heat up your food, but in this case the wavelength is different and it holds data. So what ends up happening is they transmit a very high, it's not volatile, but it's a different wavelength that's, I think it's closer together, it's like more compressed, which creates like a very unhealthy effect for you if you get in front of it. What happens is that it does heat up your molecules and it will cook you. It's very much like your microwave at home. That's how a microwave works. It heats up the molecules in your food, it burns off the water, or it moves the water molecules and it creates heat. Same thing happens with these microwave antennas. So you got to do extensive training on working with them, working around them, anything to do with a microwave antenna. It's very extensive training. Just happened, I think it was when I was there, now it was about 5 years ago, but individual walked in front of, I think it was like a 5-foot one 3 times or something. And he was found dead in his car.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he was cooked. His internal organs were cooked.
What was this?
It wasn't. It was around. I think it was in California. It's either in California or it was definitely in the United States. I don't know what state it was. I think it was California because when they came out and talked to everybody about it, like, hey, this is what happened. You guys need to be aware. And then we did a whole bunch of training again. You know what I mean? Just to make sure everybody knows. But yeah, in 5 years is recent. That shit will kill you.
So it's definitely something we need to spend more time and go into details on your field as everybody else's field.
Yeah, 100%.
So everything you've gone up to, right? You went from the steel, right? Union,
Yep.
right? To being in telecom,
Yeah.
right? Alex, you were in a different trade
Yeah.
prior to you coming into elevators.
Yeah.
Mhm,
Like you said, 2008.
Mm-hmm.
That was the kickoff of my
Your career, huh?
blue collar career. Yeah, in 2008, I was working at I wouldn't say Jeffrey Lube. It was more like what is it, Goodyear Lube?
Well, like a Firestone?
No, it was Goodyear.
Oh, it was Goodyear.
It was
okay.
Goodyear.
Why do you say that? Like a Goodyear lube? I don't know.
Well, it was a lube. It was a repair shop.
Yeah.
Whatever. I was a mechanic, a grease monkey.
Uh-huh.
Anyways, I know 2008 came by. I don't know if I quit or I got fired. I don't remember. But
It never showed up. Never showed back.
yeah, I wasn't happy. I think I was talking to PA,
Yeah.
and they happened to have a position open.
That's a cousin of ours.
Another cousin of ours in the trade, and it was the carpenter trade doing drywall framing in the commercial area, and I started there. I was there for 4 years, and I think the last year that I was in that trade, I saw a lot of elevator guys coming in and go.
Mm-hmm.
They showed up an hour late, left an hour early.
With your pen and pencils.
Clean, and I was always dirty from sheetrock dust and dealing with chop saws and stuff like that. And I was like, hey, maybe I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say I was getting bored with the trade that I was in, but I saw another opportunity. The foreman that I was working for at the time saw that I was picking it up a lot faster than everybody else and had a buddy in the elevator trade that was looking for a new apprentice, and they shot me the application.
Mm-hmm.
I went there, stood in line, did the paperwork.
Gotta take the
Not
test.
not like these days, but had to stand in line.
No, literally,
and
because that's real.
paperwork,
There'd be like 100 people standing in line around the building.
Take a written test, on a desk and paper with people, present, in front of me. But yeah, I did that. I got through all that, and I've been in the elevator trade since.
Yeah, he's
I got in
a fortunate soul.
What?
Oh, tell him what you scored.
Oh, so if you guys haven't watched the last couple episodes, I was 261, I believe, on the list of the elevator trade, to get hired, and I waited about a year until I got hired. After I took
261 out of
I think the cap was 400 or 300. I don't know.
You're about
But I was-
halfway.
Yeah, I
mid table.
wasn't single digits or double digits,
Mm-hmm.
but I waited, I got in, and then
So Alex, meanwhile, when you were waiting, were you still at the
I was still
at the framing
doing
sheetrock?
drywall
Okay.
and framing.
Yeah.
It was a good trade. I learned a lot. I still use those skills that I learned from that trade in everything that I do. Even in the elevator trade, I teach them my techniques on how to do layout, and how to lay out a machine room, and how to do laying out machines and this and that. And I show them my little tricks and trades, and they don't teach it obviously in the elevator trade how to do layout or how to. Well, they do show a little bit of layout, but they don't go in depth and how to lay out a whole building, like what I've been through. But yeah, I've been in the trade for going to be 10 years in September. I love it. I still look forward to going into it. My days in the elevator trade go like that. I know this last couple of weeks, I don't even know where my days go. I wake up and then I'm at home. And I'm like, where the fuck did my day go?
How did I get home?
Exactly.
And
It goes by quick.
He's not drinking.
No.
How long was the apprenticeship there?
So the apprenticeship in the elevator trade, I think it's 4 years.
4 years.
4 years. So I think the apprenticeship in the carpenter's trade is also 4 years, but their structure is different from the elevator trade. They don't have to take a state test like we have to do in the elevator trade.
A little bit more lives at risk.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Jesus. Hey, precious cargo.
So here's a question, and this is for all of us maybe, right? But again, the whole point of this is, in order to get to where you're at right now, you had to go through some shit. Right? You have to. There's a learning process, a curve. The road is bumpy to get to a certain point, right? So my question was, did you guys feel like it was too slow at sometimes? Like you wanted to get to a certain point?
Alex, you go first.
You know what? If you, it's kind of, yes, I've had a slow time last year, but
No. So that's,
Overall.
I don't think that's
Overall.
what I'm referring to. So like when you were an apprentice, let's say your first year in, right, and you're like, again, right, the fields you're in, that everybody here is in, it's good money,
Yeah,
right, and you said, shit, I could be making this amount, right, and
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait till my apprenticeship is over so I can finally hit that,
Yeah, big bucks.
right?
I'm a perfect candidate to answer this because so in my trade, they also have this temporary mechanic thing where you can get paid what the mechanics make.
Okay.
So I was, I think it was a year and a half after I got into the elevator trade when I got TM'd.
Okay.
I don't think they have that now because
Wait.
it's
TM is.
a temporary mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
So after like a year and a half, I kind of figured out the basics quickly because I put my head down and I figured out, the basics, and I, was good at listening and whatever, I guess. I don't know.
You applied yourself.
Yes,
Exactly.
I applied myself and I was excited. I wanted to learn electrical and mechanical, which is everything that elevator trade offers.
Right.
And I started getting paid. I believe at the time was $60. I went from 40 to 60. I got like a $20
$20
bump within like a year and a half.
Right.
And I was already making what the mechanics were making.
Right.
Because I got bumped up to TM. There's a lot more things that I I had to do to keep that license, but a year and a half I was already making what the mechanics were making.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think every year they got raises, but whatever. Now mechanics are making, I think, $89 or $90 an hour,
Mm-hmm.
and that's some good, I guess, hourly wage from back in the day.
That's
Yeah.
some good. That is good.
Yeah,
You know what? Most people, maybe even myself, but most people out there probably will never see that hourly income.
no, I've thought about moving to Texas,
But
and
most people there too, Vince, most people aren't willing to put in the time
right.
that it takes
Right.
to do that.
So
right?
there's one thing that it's glaringly obvious. The elevator union do not accept on a regular basis.
Right.
And not only they do not accept on a regular basis, you have to test very well to get into the union. Now,
Well,
Alex,
I think
tested,
Alex, that's a different
tested
podcast that we're going to
very
go
well into it.
That's
right,
a different
because-
story.
But as soon as you get into it, like anything else, previous podcasts, we know that we don't know how some of these idiots got into his
Right,
fucking
right.
union and how it worked there. We
Listen,
don't know, but
There's some bad apples out there, but
it's not exactly the easiest. Honestly, the elevator union is the most. Before we move over, because I want to hear about Sergio here.
Yeah.
But before we move over, I want to make it a point to say that the elevator union is one of the most sought after and hardest unions to get into. Out of all the unions.
Yes. Right now, it's actually pretty hard to get in because now it's in computer based.
Mm-hmm.
So now the window to apply only takes seconds.
It's like getting
You have to be computer savvy.
How Southwest used to be.
Yeah,
Right?
get your
You
plane ticket.
check in.
Yeah.
No, now you're assigned to C, right? You check in and you're like, fuck, I'm group one. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, you're
That's
A
kinda
group.
what-
You're A
Yeah,
group.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
But if you would have waited like 10 minutes, you would
That's
have
it.
C
You're
group.
fucking done.
Yeah. So 10 years ago, Alex, when you were starting off to now, right? Like you said, like when we started off, damn, it sounds like it's just yesterday, right?
Yes.
Those 10 years have flown by. But what the knowledge you have accumulated from when you started to now is completely different, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then introducing what you learned at your other union job to what you brought to the table is what has you here and why you're successful. You applied yourself, right?
Yeah.
Every day you came in and wanted to learn, right?
Yep.
There's people that go to their job and it's a job. I'm here to get paid and I leave. right? And you don't expect anything else.
They
from
stop
them.
thinking about it
Right.
after.
And then you get guys, well, he's so lucky he's making. Well, they don't know the sacrifices that were made for you to
Yeah.
get to that point, right?
It's a little
Agree?
different in the union, but yes, ultimately yes.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you got to apply yourself when the company gives you all the books and phones and stuff like this.
Yeah,
Where they have all the information on there,
Right.
and nobody even looks at it.
You
It's
can
like,
lead a horse to water. You
Yeah,
can't make him
dude.
drink.
It's on your phone.
Right.
If you want the pay raise, you have to pass the test.
Right.
You want to get the next period, to get journeyed out. If not, you're staying stuck at that
You're
that
stagnant.
period, and that's what you're doing.
Yeah. I know for me, when I got into the trade, right, I had zero knowledge of the plumbing world, right? And the first thing I did, right, I sat there and I listened. I was a lot more mature than I was, when,
Yeah, you kind of got in. Well, wait, before we get fully into the plumbing, how old were you when you got into it?
I'm 49 now. I was probably about 44.
So
Yeah.
everybody
late.
else, it's still fairly new to you.
It was late. Yeah. It was late in the game, and I said I got to make this work. Right? Coming again, I said I was in tech. So tech is
Yep.
it's a wave. It's going good, and then it drops. So there's a lot of layoffs involved. It's peaks and mountains, right? It's peaks and valleys. Sorry, peaks and valleys in
Could
tech.
be peaks and mountains too. You know what I mean? Fucking, it's going up.
It's
going.
It's peaks and
Gotta
valleys,
go
right?
down. They gotta go down and go up.
Yeah, and you basically have to reinvent yourself and start all over again every time. You put X amount of time into a company, and boom, layoffs.
Yeah.
And now you have to go in and start over again, right? And you got to start building up again. So to me, looking back, honestly, there's no reason why you should be, as an employee, committed to anybody.
Yeah, you're just. I mean, look,
An employer
if
doesn't
you-
want to hear that.
I was
but
gonna say,
honestly,
the real number or the real idea is that you're just a number to this company. You do not owe them anything. It is a partnership.
Exactly.
You do X amount of work,
As
and
long
they
as you're
pay
making
you
them-
for that work.
Yeah.
It's that's what it is. It's a
Right.
partnership.
I
If you
saw
look
that.
at it, anything else, you may be reading too much.
well, but I think in you're engraved that, hey, go get yourself a good job and work for a company and make good money and but at the end of the day, we're all numbers, right? And you don't control your own destiny.
Well, you can quit whenever you want.
You can,
You can find another job when you want.
but a lot of people say, I'm loyal to this company, I'm going to be here forever. But they're not thinking that way, because what happens if they sell? The next person comes in, I don't think you're that great. I don't think you're worth what you're making.
True, but
Right.
then you're talking about what if? What if they did this? What if somebody else came in? What if somebody was better?
No,
You're,
but
you're getting into a what if a scenario where
No,
things do happen,
I
but
think it's more-
ultimately it's
I think it's more look out for yourself and educate yourself and learn and be good at what you do, right?
is this what pushed you to making or opening your own business?
No, not really. I kind of was forced into it. I never thought of opening a business because, again, I was that soldier. I was that worker bee. I'm going to do my best. The harder I work, the more I get paid type mentality. And honestly, the more you do, it doesn't really matter, right? I remember telling one of my managers one time, his name was Doug. He passed away a couple years ago. He was in the Army and stuff like that. And I'm talking about tech, right? So we came up and we're having a one-on-one. So every week we would meet and have a one-on-one. And I was actually doing the work of 3 other guys, right? And those guys were never showing up, not closing out their tickets. And so I was picking up the slack, and he would say, hey, can you come in and pick up some more tickets because
XYZ
yeah.
didn't cover them.
right.
Yeah.
And so I'd be doing it, right? And then I tell him, hey, Doug, so what's up, man? I said, will I get rewarded or something for
Yeah.
picking us
Attaboy,
up?
you
So
did
he
it.
goes, so he goes,
Hey, come in, let me pat you on the back.
he goes, Sergio, what do you get? What do you get when you do a good job? I said, a raise. He goes, you get more work,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
If you
so-
can do it, you're gonna get more of it.
Yeah. So I mean, And it's true, right? If you think about it, right? There's certain people that slack off on the field because they really don't care, right?
Yeah.
And you're thinking, shit, I need to work harder. I need to work harder. Honestly, at the end of the day, that's not what matters, right? I think you have family. If you die today, who's gonna replace you? Somebody's gonna fucking replace you.
Well, of course, that's
right?
That's capitalism.
So that's how we think. We think we're unreplaceable.
I think that's the fictitious statement.
Yeah.
That the conglomerates push on people like,
Yeah.
hey, you're here. We need you. We need you to do more. We need you to do more. That way they can get every last drop of money from everything you do, right? You know what I mean? That's their main goal. Yeah. Their main goal is to make money, and you are the person that's going to make it. That's why I said initially, it's a partnership. If you don't think you're getting a fair end of the partnership, then it's time for you to leave.
Yeah.
Which means quitting, finding another location, job, whatever.
Which is easier said than done, right?
Good.
The person
it's never not easier said than done. It's you don't want to do it, don't do it.
Right.
Now, obviously, there's repercussions because you have to live, you have to provide.
Right.
And in that case, you can do it while still working at the company you're at. There's no law saying you can't look for a new job while working. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's many jobs out there, and there's one thing that I know, especially since I've seen people just come to this country within a year and just do crazy things, open their own business, be successful, get into a company that they've never worked before, be successful. There's jobs. There's lots of jobs out there.
Yeah.
It's just, do you want to do them?
I think a high percentage of people don't realize when the door opens for you that there's so many opportunities opening, you just don't see them because you have blinders on, right? We all see Miguel earlier passed by right before he started. He's one of our partners, right? And his English isn't that great, but he's probably the hardest working person I know. Right? Very, very, very hard worker, right? So he does a lot of the actual labor.
Yeah.
Right. And we had a little incident we were talking about earlier about, an employee that knows the language that has been plumbing and all this stuff.
Yes.
And we're sitting back and like, hey, he goes, I wish I knew a little of the English that guy knows.
Oh, because it would make him that much better, make him more better. Who knows? Because he already has the knowledge in him to succeed that.
See?
Yeah.
So sometimes, like I said, some people, the door is fucking wide open for you to take advantage of it, and you're too blind to see it. That it's even there, that opportunity's even there.
That's true, but I also want to shed light on the fact that, a lot of people don't know how to take the first step. Not everything's spelled out for a lot of people. Let's say you're the best at your job, but
that's what I'm saying.
You're trying to get better.
It comes from within. Right?
With the within won't do you any good. If you have no outlet to progress, or if you don't know which direction to help yourself to get to that next step, that step in between, that's the main key. If nobody's like, hey, you know what? There's to your buddy, like, hey, you know what? There's a free class every Wednesday to learn better English.
Right.
That could be the foothold he needs to continue to progress and be the person he wants himself to be. That goes to all trades, to anybody working.
Right.
As soon as you can acquire that knowledge, what do you do with that knowledge? If you have no idea what to do with it and you're just continuously doing it day and day and day again, and then you get tired, where's the outlet, right? Where's your foot, what do they call it? Foothold. Where's your foothold to progress you forward?
True.
Agreed, right? But like you just said, right? Guys that just come to this country and they're starting their own businesses, they don't have.
Well, they've already had people behind them to tell them, hey, this is what you do. This is how you do it, because they are not coming by themselves just to show up and they're the first one in their family.
Right.
There's plenty of people in their lineage, in a sense, that are here that have done these steps.
Right.
So they've got here. They already have a very good knowledge in what they need to do to acquire that, and they're doing it. They're knocking it out, and that's where they are.
And to some degree, they get faulted, right? Because hey, look at them. they're taking it. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you think
That's what I'm
about
saying is-
America in general, sure, at the same time, these people don't want to see somebody win. That's not me? You know what I mean? I don't think that's any of you guys.
Right.
But I feel like a large part of America would be not, in better terms, jealous.
Right.
They're jealous that hey, this guy's out here just succeeding. Why can't I succeed?
Right.
You know what I
Because
mean?
you're too busy not realizing
Yeah.
that there has been opportunities for you. You're just not taking them, or you're not willing to risk.
Or they don't know the steps. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
It comes back to knowing they just didn't have anybody to extend themselves out there to understand, oh, that's not the way to do it. Let's try something else. Oh, that's not the way to and find the way to get there, right?
Right. So I think all of us here, trial and error, we kind of get to where we got because of mistakes. We said it early on, right? Alex was talking about going in, and he was in a different trade, right?
Yep.
And he would see these elevator guys coming and going, and he was something that interested him,
Yeah.
right? A door opened, an opportunity opened where his direct boss or foreman says, "Hey, I know a guy here." He didn't take him and say, "You got to do this, you got to do that." He made the introduction, and Alex took it from there, right?
Yeah, but that the whole point of the
Right.
step is the introduction.
Correct.
So, like for you,
But that's
for-
what I'm
for-
trying to
for
say
you going
is-
to tech and then you going to plumbing, where was that step? Where was that introduction for you?
It was that introduction from my brother-in-law saying, "Hey, I have this job that I think you would do well in," right? And being hesitant and being like, I don't think I want to be crawling under people's houses.
Yeah.
Right? Because I've never crawled under.
Yeah.
Can I
It's foreign to you.
Can I do the work? Yes. But that was the not knowing, right? So willing to take that risk and say, I'm now going to take a more than 50% pay cut in order to start something new at this age. Not every. That's what I'm saying. A lot of people that said, I think I'm going to stick to what I've been doing the last 17 years and kind of go with it and see where it takes me. Or you say, I have to make a life-changing decision where I'm tired of the fucking peaks and valleys. Let's see what way this goes, right? And so when I made that decision,
Well, I feel like that's the first decision of many, right?
within my first month, I invested in myself because I wanted to get better. I didn't care about anybody else around me. This was just me. Everything depends on me. It doesn't depend on my spouse. It doesn't depend on my kids. It doesn't depend on my coworkers. Mainly, everything falls on me. If
Yeah.
I fail, it's because I didn't
Try
do
enough,
it,
you didn't
right?
do right. Yeah, 100%.
So the first month in, I went out and I went into debt, and I fucking paid. I bought about $20K in tools right off the bat, right? So I had what no other apprentice had. I had what a lot of techs didn't have that were already making a lot of money. They were borrowing tools from me, and I was just like, "Dude, you make like X amount."
Why aren't you picking these
because
up?
they
Why
weren't
aren't you
in
showing
there
up?
for the long haul. They were just like making it easy, and that's what
They're there for a good
That's what
time.
made me how successful I am to date.
Well, so
because,
that first step you took to get into the plumbing, right? And then you've worked the plumbing for how long?
honestly,
4 years.
it was
Well, no, but so you were with that company for X amount of time before you chose to take the next step, right?
yeah, it wasn't even that. So let's not even go that far, right? So 6 months in, I get promoted. You're not a apprentice anymore. I was like, what the fuck? I don't know a lot of shit. I gave them a list. I know. They're like, no, what you know, what you have, we can't teach. You're ready. The plumbing will come, right? But what you can do, we can't teach. You know how to talk to a client. You know how to explain stuff, right? And the person that finally convinced me was, I respect them to this day. I respect them a lot, right? And he told me, he's like, you know this, and that. I wish I knew that when I was starting. I would be somewhere different. Instead, I went the other way, and I'm just a plumber, he said. You know what I mean? So he's like, the money isn't at the plumbing. The money is at the selling
Yeah,
part,
100%.
right? So it kind of forced me to kind of say, all right, sink or swim,
Yeah.
right? It's either one. And
So
it's
in that
nerve-wracking, right? Going in, you really don't know what you're talking about. You have some experience, right? and you're going in.
Well, that's remember I was talking about earlier, being confident in what you know
Right.
and conveying that confidence to another person is
So
the whole battle.
But knowing that there's an opportunity there, right? I can tell you that 7 years into it, the same classes, that I was in, there was other guys there.
Still doing the same thing though.
But guess what they were doing? They were on the phone, not paying attention. What was Sergio doing? Sergio was taking notes. He was applying himself. Because why? I don't have time anymore. I need to learn now. So I had a goal in my head. By X amount of time, I want to be working as a commission tech.
So when they did move you over to sales, that sounds like you're doing sales. Were you still doing any of the field work? Were you doing both?
No. Honestly, it was strictly field work still at that point, right? It's kind of a mix of two. So you go and you take the call, you go to the client's house, and then you provide options, and then you do the work, right? So doing all that, it was late nights because, hey, can you stay late today? Yeah, I'll stay late. Where everybody was already going, yeah, I'll stay home. I'll stay late because why? Because I had a goal in mind, and I wanted to be there, right? So within those 6 months when I got promoted, people were pissed. But those same people that were pissed that I got promoted were the ones that would call me asking me, hey, do you have the notes on that on the class or what we talked about today? Because I'm at home right now and this is what we're talking. I said, weren't you paying attention?
So when you say promoted, what was it to, or what was the change? What was the difference here?
So I was no longer considered an apprentice. Right now I was a tech. I could
So
actually
you
go out.
On your own calls.
Yes.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah.
So you knocked out your own calls for a few years, and then
No. So within the 6 months I get moved over, and I wanted hands on. I wanted to be behind somebody, right? Because up until that point I was shadowing basically a salesperson.
yeah,
I got the exposure of seeing what the problems were, but not how to fix them, not how to plumb them, right? Not how to plumb a house and stuff like that, not how to run the process of the inspections, all that stuff. So I wanted to learn all that, and they said, no, you're going to learn all that
as you work. Yeah.
right. That we don't have time to train you on that, or the resources to just put you to train with somebody. They wanted to make money. Everybody is a dollar amount. Every vehicle that they have is a dollar amount. So I said, okay. Which, think about it then, back then I was just like, fuck, man, I need more experience. But all that stuff forcing me to kind of learn on my own and trial and error and mistakes got me to where the point I am now, right? Because a lot of those guys that were doing the same thing I was doing, they were waiting around. Okay, can you come and start this project? They didn't know how to sell. They didn't know how to really kind of go out and do it, where I did. I learned how to sell. I learned how to do everything in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
Right? And so when it came down to open a business.
Yeah, so go through us the steps, right? So was somebody, was like, hey, you know what? I'm interested in opening it. Did they come to you and were like, hey, would you be interested in coming with me?
I think that's a different podcast because we're going to go in depth and then.
Well, I mean, it doesn't need to be. Ultimately, the step that you jumped in, what was that for you then? What was the outlet being like, you know what? This is now my change of direction.
So it was to the point where I wasn't happy to how things were being, done. Whether it be ethically or it didn't align how I like to do things, and I had no control over them, right? But again, it's going to be a completely different direction that we're going. But ultimately, what I said, it made that switch where, remember I said I never thought about having a business or being a business owner, where it came to a point where it said, I'm never going to work for somebody ever again.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Now, was that help because the people around you, or the people you knew, were in that kind of same boat?
No. So actually...
So then you went out and found the people, like-minded people then?
No. So with the exception of Gert, right? Because he had kind of started a business back when he was in South Africa, and it didn't work out. He had a bad partner, and
Hey, by
he
chance,
never wanted to.
Did Gert work with you at that location?
Everybody that I'm partners with, we all met at the same place.
Okay, so you guys.
company.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. We all met at the same place.
That makes sense.
And again, it's a we can spend a whole hour.
No,
on
we
that.
definitely could. I think that's what I'm saying. And we will.
Yeah.
I think the next few podcasts we do, we can go in depth on each one of our fields of service.
No. I think we said we agreed that that's what
Yeah.
we're going to do. Today
Yeah.
was more of an introduction. That's why I don't think we should go too much into details because again, 10 years in the trade, right? 4 years in the framing drywall trade, that can give you more stories.
Yeah.
In your early on, I mean, we could talk about
Yeah.
my background, how I got into where I was. Again, it all leads to everything that we've done up until now has helped us along the way.
Yeah, definitely.
Whether it's a bad experience or a good experience,
Yeah.
we've learned along the way,
I'll
and it's
tell you-
made us who we are.
The bad ones really sculpted you.
And I think the 5 people that are listening or watching this,
Yeah, hell yeah.
will relate, and I think that's the connection, right? Because we're not making up stories. This is real, and I think any blue collar person or anybody out in the workforce will say, yeah, that's exactly right,
relate.
because they're going to relate to us because that's exactly how they came up, or that's what they want, right? That's how they strive. So like when I tell my guys, hey man, there's a reason I'm telling you this because I already went through it. I don't want you to go through it. So listen, just pay attention. Every time I tell you something, because I've already lived it.
Honestly, if they want to go through it, fine. Just have an idea. You know what I mean? Shit. At least you're not going blind. You're not,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're not putting your hand on the tack. You know what I mean? It hurts.
Yep.
It hurts. Oh, it does? Oh, it hurts. Now you know.
All right, man. Well,
Yeah.
I think this is a good reintroduction again. People kind of remember what or get a refresh on
refreshment.
who we are. and-
Exactly.
right.
Yeah.
I think we're the three amigos.
What we about,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. So take us out.
Well, I
Alex.
mean, yeah. So say a few words.
okay.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I had something. Anyways, yeah. We're gonna stick to a schedule.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to make it out at least one episode a week.
Yeah, I
One
mean,
episode a week.
I feel like we should lock in with at least 2 a month. You know what I mean?
If you're listening, you're interested in coming in, whatever trade you're in, it doesn't matter. Hit us up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Hit us
Hey,
up.
you're interested. You want to come in. I know. I go to my barber shop, and they always said, hey, when were we going to get invited?
Where
wanna
am I
go,
getting
right?
in?
Yeah. So, yeah, if you guys want to be on the show and give us your
Your take on your
Yeah.
life, honestly, your work life,
Yep.
not your life, but you can talk about that too, I guess. But your work life, yeah, definitely.
Yep. Cool.
Don't forget to subscribe. It helps the algorithm and all that jazz.
Yeah,
I know we don't have that many followers, but hey,
we're still here.
we're still here. We're trying to knock them out, and we're trying to reinvent this podcast. But yeah, we're on Spotify too.
Yep.
Don't forget that. If you don't have access to YouTube or whatever, how that works, technology is 2026.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot to come.
Yeah, clean it up.
That's it.
Yeah.
That was nice. Good.
Let's go.